Thank you very much, dignitaries, for being here in the evening, taking out for all of us to have this discussion. This discussion, which will lead the industry, will give some new perspective to the industry. I'll be talking about, can unparalleled CX in BFSI be the game changer to build the digital trust of the customers? Where exactly I come from and what we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to a strategy. Has anybody asked you a strategy of a customer experience? We work around customer experience. We create different modules. We bring in a lot of technology, adopt that technology, and present it to our customers. But have we really worked upon the strategy for the customer experience? No one from all of us from the industry of BFSI exempted from the strategic focus. The customer experience, which matters a lot today, and it has taken one of the prominent place across the world players within the industry of BFSI as well as the other industries. It's a combined effort of the government of India as well and the Reserve Bank to fuel the India's growth and financial sector, making it attractive to the market for investors, for local investors, as well as the foreign organizations. But with the growth, it comes challenges. And increasing competition, stringent regulations, and consistently evolving technology advancement. The sector is working around the clock to sell their products and services, but more important, keeping the customer happy is really at the top of the mind. Precisely why, according to the Deloitte study, 62% of the companies view customer experience delivered by contact centers as competitive differentiator. Is that really the competitive differentiator? I mean, we can think of it. There is a third-party engagement or a primary engagement created by us to ensure that we deliver a customer experience. But that is what is going to give us numbers. That is which is going to give us views from our own customers. Customer expectations have risen so much over the past decade and across all businesses, including banks. They expect us to interactions to be intuitive, seamless, and very, very straightforward. Don't you think so? Banks have been investing to meet these expectations, but have struggled to keep pace, and the customer self-service banking industry is a significant component of this customer experience. With that, I would like to ask a few questions and ask dignitaries to come back and give the view. I would like to invite Ms. Shivangi. Shivangi, I mean, you can talk about the digital innovation and the financial journey, how Tata AIG General Insurance is trying to redefine the customer journey. And where do you see from 3 to 5 years from now, how the entire digital adoption will evolve? Over to you, Shivangi.
Thank you so much. And good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Milind, if you could just...
Yes, Shivangi, very much.
So if I have to talk about the entire customer experience, I will just want to go back to basics where, we would want to just see where all, my customers would come to the organization. So what we did was we defined the entire customer journey, right from the onboarding to servicing to post-servicing and then claims. So if I have to just sum it up, these are the four major legs, where the customer would come to any organization or an insurance. So what we did was, I'll start slowly one by one. So when it came to onboarding, I would like to talk about, the virtual offices that we're coming up with. We have around 333 virtual offices which are already live, where the customer can, buy product online. These products are absolutely digital with risk and fraud controls built in. We have used products which are based on telematics. So that's one good thing. If I have to talk about that, the policy offers kilometer-based package that enables savings on premium compared to any other conventional policies. We also bought, in fact, an auto-save, a GPS-enabled device, which you can link to any mobile. And that records all information, tracks the distance traveled, and generates reports. It generates reports about the vehicle, the distance traveled, and in a way, it also ensures, the safety of the policyholder. It helps us, it helps the policyholder to save on premiums by selecting the kilometers driven. It also helps promote safety while driving and also works as an anti-theft device. So that's one that I would want to talk about the product, which we went live, immediately post the lockdown. We then ensure that we work on our architect model. So IT is working on automated systems using Architect 2.02 version. That's again a part of onboarding journey where we said, we'll have automated products for the customers. The second leg was servicing. We strengthened our, servicing by using chatbots, including machine learning, various tools, AIs, RPAs, where we say that we will service these customers through digital platforms using video stream as one of the major, technology for our claims, where we could do live, investigation of the vehicle with the least bandwidth that is available. So that's the technology, that we adapted to. The third leg, being your claims, where we automated a lot of claims processes and we're still automating. Another leg was customer engagement. So what do we do to keep these customers engaged? We saw a drastic change in terms of adapting to technology, between age group 45 to 60, which used to be a challenge for most of these sectors, because digital adaptation between that age, was something which we saw was very low as compared to the new age customers, or the millennials. So that's the kind of shift that we're seeing, and more than insurance being a push, it's more of a pull now in terms of servicing. So we're seeing a lot of old age, customers adapting to use of chatbots, calling using our AIs, working on different services. So that's the kind of shift, or the paradigm shift that we have seen in this period. If I have to talk about, how it's going to be in another 3 to 5 years, I think it's all a mind game. In fact, none of us would have thought that we would be working from home, because that was just in the mind. So the limits and challenges are only mental. For example, the earlier hesitance used to be about working from home, but now we all are looking at different ways of adapting to this change as well. And so it is the same with the customers. We are seeing a paradigm shift, not only in terms of people availing these services, buying products online, but customers insisting that they go more on digital rather than visiting the local branches or asking the agents to come home. So that's the kind of shift that I'm seeing. Secondly, if I have to talk about for being on the customer or being on the industry end, we are with the regulatory being in place and sandbox into picture, and allowing permitting telematics, as one of the solutions to be used. We are seeing that regulators are also becoming, quite, they are welcoming these kind of digital platforms, which, any sector or, the insurance sector, to be more specific, can be used or are used to make their services or products more intuitive. So I think in 3 to 5 years, I'm going to see more of intuitive services being offered or being availed, rather than services which are just traditional.
That's a real deeper view, Shivangi. I mean, thank you so much for that. It gave us a complete view, starting from a company using from a telemetrics to going to the level of an automation from for an individual, and providing him the technology for a real-time analysis. I mean, nowadays, most of the brands, while they struggle to provide this experience to an end user, I'm really happy to hear the collaboration of multiple services that you guys brought on a single platform. Okay, that's really commendable. Thank you so much for that view. I just have one question. Being a consumer, okay, we totally depends on the experience management, how we look at it. And the first thing when you get on an insurtech platform, and when you really want to see something, the first differentiator that you want to see is the claim settlement ratio. Okay, can you give us a two-liner? How would that operate? Because a lot of people need to understand how the differentiator, okay, should be looked at from a point of view of a layman. Okay, is there anything that you will be able to tell us, whether it's enhanced after the entire collaboration work you did for Tata AIG and got the services together?
So if I have to honestly talk about claims, okay, there's one very good learning that I probably came across while one of my visits to Singapore for one of the events, where I came across a service specifically for claims, where even before the customer asked for the money, the money was given to him, and that's the kind of expectation not only me or any consumer would have. That how can we become more intuitive? And that's why I was, emphasizing more on the word intuitive.
Right.
So there, I think a lot of work is still being done. We at Tata, in fact, are looking at a lot of these innovative claim, differentiating services, where
Right.
even before the customer comes to us, we would want to go back to the customer saying, this is your money, and we got to know that you are in need for it, or this is going to be used for it. And that's the complete idea why we launched our the telematic based motor product, where
Yes.
in this pandemic, why would I want to spend even a penny more or a penny less, and that's the whole idea of designing something for your customer. It's more of a customization. It's more of being true loyal to the customer, so that they feel that every penny that they pay and everything that they get back is just not compromised. So that's not only during the claim, Milind, but it's also during the onboarding process. Is something that I feel. That's my opinion.
Absolutely. Very, very valid and very valuable input. Thank you so much, Shivangi. Thank you. That gives us an opportunity to move forward to Jitendra ji, one of the senior person from our industry. And Jitendra ji, 10 years back, buying an insurance was primarily through agents. Okay? We understand that. And our dependency on the agents and his promises were giving us a lot of logic about how we supposed to buy and why we supposed to buy. But do you think the insurance market and consumer is moving towards being self-sufficient to purchase it without any help from anyone? And how much a usage of tech helping you to grow or a degrow? Where do you see going in that future?
Sure. So thank you, Milind, and thank you, CXM, for giving this opportunity to be a part of this panel. Very appropriate question. I think always asked in a forum when it comes to insurance. We need to really understand the evolution of insurance. If you really see, it started with LIC, and it is an agency-led kind of a model where there are proprietary financial consultants who are really sourcing business. Post privatization in last 10 years, and since my beginning of career in insurance, last 10 years, while I will be talking about some of my general experiences, not any company specific detail, the agency-led model has beginning to get into different new distribution model, where the growth of banking sector has really propelled and have created a clear alternative towards providing a new avenues to connect with the customers and providing a new financial need fulfillment. Further to that came a host of other associated banking services, which are like NBFCs, MFIs, and various partner ecosystems. Now, this is how we need to really understand the origination or the distribution has really grown. And they have not grown because they just want to grow. They have grown because customer actually wants the services from some trusted partner and institution. And they always looked into something which is a brick and mortar or a person in front is going to be really helping. And there is a reason behind it. The reason behind is that insurance, unlike any other product, is a very complex product. It has got many layers of information and contracting requirement, and this contract is for the long term. So say, for example, if I want to really strike a friend, I get into this conversation and a WhatsApp group gets formed. That's the very easiest thing. But if I want to really create my life partner, I will be really choosy and selective about it. So there are a lot of emotional and financial decisioning which actually goes in. And that's where you need some people with whom you want to vet out that information. There is a lack of awareness and all those kind of things. So given this background of a buying process, there is also an evolution of technology which has taken place in last 10 years. And we need to really understand that those technologies are there as a add-on to these channels, or they are substitute. So today we can actually intuitively talk about, I can reach to Alexa and raise my request for a particular buying of a product, and Alexa should be in a position to do that. or if I really do can Google Assist help me in actually my buying journey? Theoretically possible, and it is also reality in terms of a POC done by many organizations, and maybe in few years you will get those kind of a success stories to really talk about it.
Absolutely.
You talk about can the journey be done on a chat platform alone? Yes, there are journeys which are initiated with chat. There are journeys which are getting initiated with a telemarketing kind of a setup, and it is becoming a norm. It is becoming a defined channel at this point of time. So you name a technology which has come in is becoming a new way of doing it. So while there is an agency kind of a channel or a banker channel or a partner is there, they continue to be the first point of contact to the customers and create a prospecting journey. The enablement of the journey is technology led. There are only few customers and customers' behavior where if they are informed and they have gathered sufficient information from multiple sources, they can still prefer to go themselves online directly to the website of the company or with the help of an aggregator to really buy that journey. Now, that proportion or the revenue share is there of that channel, which I call is as a unassisted journey or a digital journey or a journey which is actually bringing the latest technology to really bring that kind of a convenience and experience to that kind of a customer. But is it something which is a major impact to my revenue pie? Is it a large kind of a market share? Obviously not. But yes, the dent has started to begin. But across the journey, wherever, whether the business is sourced from a salesperson, from a market, from a banker channel, or from a broker channel, how to really onboard that customer and create a issuance of the policy, certainly technology is becoming an integral part of it, and without that, there is no scale. So that's the way we need to be really looking into the evolution of technology and providing of customer experience. So it's not one single bullet in terms of a technology which actually solves the problem. There are different technologies which are getting embedded at different layers and is actually creating that kind of an experience for customers. So yes, in the buying journey, there is a possibility of a digitization in simplifying the entire journey for customers. But customer doing himself that entire journey end to end is still early stages. And to the extent it is there with certain part of the business, certain types of product, it is only a small fragment of the revenue pie.
Absolutely. I mean, that is like a deepest possible view on the insurance one can get, Jitendraji. Thank you so much on that. While you spoke about the new age inclusions like Alexa and Google to come into the picture and resolve a lot of things for us, and in multi-industry cases, for various products, for a consumer buying behavior, we could already see this kind of analysis being done by companies. There are tenders which are floated where the requirements are very, very clear about an integration with Alexa, about an integration with Google Home. So that can give a complete new perspective. So in another 3 years to 4 years, we see this technology being more evolved and will be useful for us. I think with that thing, thank you so much, Jitendraji, for contributing your valuable thoughts. Let me move to Shivraj. Shivraj, to give us a view that Shivraj, it's a 24-year-old organization when it comes to your bank and categorized as A-class financial institution, being backed up by the Dutch financial institution, listed in Nepal Stock Exchange, big thing, and have been consecutively awarded Bank of the Year for 2017 and 2018. Yet in the emerging competition, leading financial institutions in Nepal, how do you look at the future and strategies and the growth prospects from your end? And if you can tell us what would be the agenda to build a sustainable and upgradable customer experience management model that you would like to adopt? Over to you, Shivraj.
Thank you, Milind. Basically, of course, the future of is to ensure that we have self-servicing customers. so that we have less traffic at the branch. Currently, the scenario of the entire banking industry here, if you see, is more of a branch-led than the digital platform-led. So basically, we would be looking into the entire industry is moving towards migrating their customers from branch to the digital platform. And due to this current pandemic, the acceleration has and the demand for digital initiatives has been filled in all the banks that are there in Nepal. So basically, we are also no more we are also not an exception of that. So we started the customer journey experience management somewhere around 2018, and then that where we brought on some people, and we did some internal surveys and external surveys with our clients, and what they basically would require on the platform, and what they would require how the platform they have at present would do they suffice their needs on their digital offerings or not, and stuff like that. So then we came up with an idea where, like, the bank should have a common channel where we should have a platform where we could hang up any of the channels that are available, like your Facebook messengers or your Viber chat box or your web or mobile, whatever channels you want to offer to your clients should be hooked up into a single platform. So where we got in Paynet Systems to work for us on that, and we have now just few weeks back we launched our first omni-channel platform, where we have somewhere around where we would be putting somewhere around 92 services to the clients, and currently we have around 35 services which are already live on the platform. So this has given us a big leap in Nepal, where we would be leading on the digitization front, even though other banks are still moving in their directions. But we have set a foot ahead of them on this. From strategic perspective, we said earlier, like, we plan on every service in the channel where customers are rather forcing the users to use the channels, rather than now what we have strategized is we will give the services on the channels where the customers are using it, like your messengers, or like just to put your notice, like we have also started opening banks account using Facebook messengers and Viber accounts. So that's the one another leap that we have given forward. So we plan to go to the open API sort, where we would host a sandbox where different fintech companies would connect to our APIs, and if their products are good, we would just hang them up with our platform. So basically, the strategy that we have taken is a twofold. First, we want to migrate our existing customers from your branch-based transactions to digital transactions. Then the second part of that would be, we would not just be using this as a technology transformation. We want to use this platform as a revenue channel, where we could generate much revenues to the bank based on opportunities or based on other components. So based on the digital agenda that you said, like the operandi that we have, we want to create a seamless integration between our internal systems first, so that the internal systems, your core banking or your omni-channels or your other workflow management systems or your credit management systems, they should be so tightly integrated that we would be able to provide any services to the customers, any customer information to them, any other attributes, any other products, any other banking information, so that it's there in their fingertips or on the web browser. So that is the first thing that we are looking into. The other thing is, like, we would be building a plug and play service with the help of microservices that we want to run. It's an architecture where we want to have a plug and play services quickly, and we're also working with the partners and experimenting with different types of services. Like I just said to you, like your messenger banking or your Viber banking or your omni-channel. These are the experiments that we did, and till date we're getting a very good response from the clients and other stakes that we have. And the FMO has given us a mandate that we have to move into the direction what they are looking into, how they are looking into. So that's basically what we would look into is a combination of self-sustains and partnership with the service providers that they are working with us. So that's what we are looking into, Milind, in terms of the operandi. And similarly, if you see, like the government of Nepal is also moving in that direction. Like there are a few organizations that have started like accepting digital channels on their entire day-to-day operations. If I have to name some, like recently your land management revenue department has now started accepting emails as their work on their work culture. So which was previously we have to visit their branch or their locations to do the activities now for your mortgage of your collateral and other stuffs, but now they have started accepting emails for that front. Similarly, your company registrar office has now started accepting scanned documents to register a company on their platform. So, and similarly, the government of Nepal has come up with a 2019 digital framework where they have categorized 8 sectors with 80 recommendations on different sectors, and financial sector is one of the major sectors where they have come up with the provision of establishing a national switch, national payment gateway, national clearing, and different stuffs. So jointly, obviously, we are far behind the other countries in terms of national infrastructure in digitization, but the pace is getting very, very quickly. We are moving into that pace. So that's, Milind, what thing the operandi would be, that we would be working along with the government in terms of your eKYC or other stuffs.
Shivraj, that really gives me a very widespread view when it comes to Nepal as a market. And just to give you an idea, I mean, I work for an organization which is Infobip, and we've spread our legs into Nepal, and we've tried taking certain permissions to start up digital businesses. We've seen the kind of pace that government has taken to catch up to the rest of the world. And the pace that NMB is catching up to ensure to take a step ahead in the digitization is also commendable. Thank you so much, Shivraj, for all your views. That gets me excitement to the next level, to the further level, to talk about a complete digitized experience when it comes to a new age banking. And I would invite Anand to come here and share a stage with us once again. And Anand, Fino Bank being one of the new models. When it comes to the banks, there's a newer way of lending free operations. How do you see the expectations of your customers different from those who are being a part of the regular traditional retail banking? Over to you, Anand. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I guess Anand is facing some connectivity issues. I would request moderators to just check once again. Anand, can you hear us?
Milind, I would request you to continue the panel discussion. Meanwhile, we will connect with Anand and figure out the issue. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Yes, yes, Justin, we will. Those were the fantastic.
Really doesn't make sense to hang around. I'm exiting. I mean, it just really, we're holding up the others. Okay. What do you want me to do?
Sorry, there was a disturbance in between. I mean, while we're looking at the new age channels for the inclusion of your banking system, okay, I just wanted a view. I wanted to understand, how do you look at these new age channels to being part of your original infrastructure? And why I'm saying original infrastructure, because this is a traditional infrastructure. All the developments have happened over this traditional infrastructure, and then later on, there were multiple OTT channels, chat apps, or sort of developments which have happened, and they come and sit on the technology. They connect via API and give a new age advantage to your customers. So Shivangi, I mean, if we could get few views from you, a channel like WhatsApp, in case, that has to be integrated, and how do you look at it from your point of view, from the industry point of view, or when it comes to enhancing your customer experience and taking it to the next level?
So Milind, when I talk about taking the customer experience to a different level, and when I talk about these various artificial intelligence or solutions. So, for example, when I talk about chatbot as one of the means, I have seen that using this in silos or using this individually may not serve the purpose, considering that the journey that each of these processes have in insurance are quite more complex as compared to other sectors. So there comes that point where we have to see how do we leverage other methods into AI or various different methods, or club them together. So I would like to talk about one of the projects that I was heading last year, for Tata AG specifically, because when it comes to general insurance, the kind of underwriting that happens is different for different products. Some are customized, some are not, logical based. So there has to be a very robust quality control in place there. And having said that, having such a huge team, to manually monitor this was another challenge that we were facing early last year. What we did was, we thought that how about using artificial intelligence into this. And when we started with the project, it seemed quite easy, but then we realized that we could not just have a solution with one of the improvement tools, but we had to club in a lot of other tools. Like we had to club in OCR within RPA or machine learning, for various products. So if it's going to be a challenge for the industry. The reason being, specifically for insurance, the reason being that there is no one stop solution or one stop tool that is going to help us achieve this.
Right. Sorry, I think due to the internet issue, we lost Shvangi in between. Her conversation broke. Nevertheless, we will continue the discussion. We will not stop here. Once she comes back, she can complete it for us. I'll move to Jitendra ji. Jitendra ji, can you give us an example of any of
So there are n number of examples because it's a world of customer, and obviously every customer interaction matters. Now across the touch point.
Yes, Shivangi, you were audible. I think you finished, so I moved to Jitendra ji. So I was just taking it up. Thank you so much, Shivangi.
So I was just talking about across all the touch points, when customer is coming in, there is a moment of magic opportunity for an organization to enable it through a high touch and high tech kind of a enablement. Now, both is required. It can't be that only a technology which is at the face of it, which could be like maybe a face sense or maybe an iris kind of a thing. I'm not sure whether that will create an STP experience, whether customer is ready for it, nor your backend is ready to really create that kind of an experience. So it is very important that you select the right kind of a use case to really create that kind of a change in the experience, keeping customer in mind, not technology in mind. And that's precisely is the challenge many organizations face, that they are so very perturbed about the evolution of technology and the very sheer availability of technology. They wanted to really apply it at any cost. And that cost could be really costlier if it is not changing the experience for the customer. So selecting a use case and understanding the pain of the customer, solutioning that pain, and if that pain can be addressed through a technology, go for it. So I'll give you an example. The whole of call center, which is traditionally built where there are people who are essentially trying to connect, but what they are doing is reading a script. They are just following a particular process, and still a human being is not providing that experience. And most of us are actually a victim of that particular journey, saying that, yeah, I want resolution, not understanding you as a parrot. So if that is the kind of a bottleneck which is there of interacting with a human being, if a technology is brought in to substitute a human being, obviously it is designed to fail. But if you really apply yourself right, that what are those things which a person is doing, which is monotonous in nature, which is routine in nature, which is something which is common, which anyway has to be narrated. And what are few of the things which is requiring is sensitization, a empathy element, and a solutioning element to really resolve some of those chronic pain. So if you classify that, you can certainly take away large part of your call, which could be routinely managed through a voice bot. And then escalation kind of a situation with a trigger can be made available to a human being. And if that is applied properly, it can change the whole economics and the experience for the customer. So customers are really happy. And without introduction by my bot as that I am a bot, it is introducing itself as a human being, and they are doing my renewal calling.
Rightly said, Jitendra. I mean, that could take so many current live examples, and they run into my mind, and I rejuvenate every experience that I had, where I was thinking that why is this technologically not right, and am I not getting the personalized attention from this particular brand, and that. So yes, I mean, rightly said. If you have to bring in a WhatsApp, and if you have to bring in a chat bot for that matter, okay, there has to be a interactive voice response system backing it up. So this journey has to be a flow. This journey should not be there to hamper anywhere when it comes to a customer experience or confuse the customer what exactly I should be using. While I'm entering inside, there's a voice available, there's an OTT channel available, there's an email available, I mean, and there is a branch available where I can walk up. So giving that confidence back to customer, and rightly said by Shivangi, this is not one thing. You have flavors of natural language processing coming into the picture. You need an automation rightly at the point where it can fetch certain information. It has an ability to understand the behavior of the customer. And then yes, because India being a country where we've got so many languages, it has to reflect the multilingual capability to react back and to go back and answer the customers. So thank you so much, Jitendra ji, for that example. Quickly, coming back to the last topic, Shivraj, if you could give us some of the new technology inclusions that either you've implemented or you're looking forward to, and what can enhance having these in your system being implemented in your system.
Thank you, Milind. So basically coming up, like now the race has gone up so high that now we have to catch up with the technological race that we have. So now since the channels are up, and now sidewise we are looking into the other platforms, like we are trying to acquire a technology where we could provide a loan on 3 hours loan to our payroll clients. That is one. And the other is like we are trying to digitize the entire processes of the bank, the internal processes, where we have another partner who has been working on that scenario with us. And we are somewhat in the phase of the final stages of those platform implementation. And that would be also integrated with the channels, and the customers can work on that, accept the transactions from the channels on that front as well. And similarly, we are implementing the collection management and recovery management solutions in the bank as well, which we don't have as of now. And say post-COVID, that is one of the major requirements that we have, and we intend to complete that process, project in a span of 6 months' time. So these are a few technologies that are coming up in the bank. But beyond that, now what we see after a year where we want to move ahead or what. So basically, what we want is like. If you see the roadmap that we have built, if I can give you a small snapshot of the roadmap that we have built, like we want the entire employee of the bank to be self-serviced, and we want the customers of the bank to be self-service. So these are two fronts that we are looking into. So when we are So when we are when we are working on the entire planning of this entire digital strategy of the bank, what we said was like, first your backbone should be digitized. First you should be internally digitized. Then once you are strong on the on that front, then it's better to plug in other services, other channels that you can bring in. So, will have a major impact on the others, on the clients. So that's the direction, that's the strategy that we have taken as of now. So we have another partner from India who is working on the internal digitization process, and we have Paynet Systems who has been helping us on the customer front. So we want to have the customers everything on the single channel rather than they move into different websites, different locations, different channels. So basically what we want, like even the regulations of the central bank, they don't allow us to bring everything on the channels, but still what we have tried to do is limiting the time of a customer that he or she spends at the branch. That is one of the major strategies. If the regulations start easing up, then we will be moving in that direction only. But we are trying to prepare the system in such a way that today any system that has to go from channels to your workflow, and if a central bank allows that, okay, these transactions can be done online or this can be done through a straight through, then immediately we will be ready to move that transaction from a workflow perspective to a directly STP perspective. So that is how we are designing the entire architecture of the digital framework of the bank. So that is that is what we are looking into. And basically now, if you see the population of Nepal and if you see the data that we have, every hour there are somewhere around 125 new people are joining into our internet platform. So there are, if you see the number of people that have subscribed to the mobile app, SIM cards is twice the number of the population at times, because people are using 2 SIMs, 3 SIMs based on their requirement. So the penetration of mobile is so high that now if I give you something good on the channels, on the website, no people is going to notice that. So that has to come into a mobile application. So we are building an application in such a way that the customer should be free to use the application in such a way that it's so easy. And that's the direction that we want to take. Like tomorrow, if a central bank opens a digital banking license, we should be there in the front, in the number one. We should be in the front to apply for that license. That's the direction that that's the strategy that we are building it. So, that's the strategy, Milind.
Thank you so much, Raj, for the detailed view, and that gives me a clear indication that when it comes to NMB, they're trying to get to the grassroots level and eliminate those old age challenges and trying to bring in the revolution in the banking part, what Nepal is looking at, and that gives us an overview about how the entire Nepal telco, which relates to the banking industry, is shaping up. Thank you so much for that. Thanks a lot to all the dignitaries. I mean, that takes us to the end of the panel session today. And I would request Justin to come and take over from here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that wonderful and insightful session. Milind, we have a few questions. I have an open question and I also have a direct question. I'll start with the open question. So is this post-COVID shift, or is this what has been observed last year as well? Business evolve and ways of doing it evolves as the technology upgrade happens. Now the question is, what has been the business uptake over a period of last 3 years scenario, and what has changed the last 3 years, and what was this, was there a surge in sales as year-on-year growth? So that's one question I have. The second one is a direct question to Shivangi Karma. Shivangi, the question is, have you started using any digital medium on motor insurance claim management and settlement, like reporting of incident and support? These are two questions I have as of now. Attendees, please go ahead and share specific questions in the chat panel while our panelists will look into the questions we have right now. Over to you, Milind. Thank you.
Right. So I'll take the first question, but I would request Shivangi, because it's a direct question, I would request her to answer that. And later on, I'll take the question on the digitization, pre-COVID, post-COVID, and the requirement. Over to you, Shivangi.
Could you just repeat the question again, because I had a little network glitch.
No problem.
Sure, I'm happy to do that. So the question is, have you started using any digital medium on motor insurance claim management and settlement, for example, reporting of incident and support?
Yes. So like I said, we've used video streaming as one of the digital medium where customers, brokers, and even people at the automobiles can use this platform with the lowest bandwidth. The USP of this is that you can, even if if you're poor on network, you can still access to our video streaming app. And right from investigation to inspection of the vehicle is done using this. So we've already done that.
Justin, if you could repeat that question. Yes, Shivangi, you answered the question. Justin, if you could repeat the first question, which was an open one, I would like to take it up from the technology standpoint for the industry.
Absolutely, sir. So the question is this post-COVID shift, or is this what has been observed last years as well? Business evolved and ways of doing it evolves as technology upgrade happens. The question is, what has been the business uptake over a period of last 3 years? What has changed in these 3 years? Was there a surge in sales?
Right. So the very first thing, I mean, pre-COVID and a post-COVID, every organization was taking a turn, and they're becoming a very technology adoptive, and they're becoming a very technology driven organization. I'm coming from an A2P cloud industry, and being a part of a SaaS company, I could see the growth in demand. And I'm talking about pre-COVID. I'm talking about the entire 2019 calendar year as well as the financial year. The financial year came to an end in March, and unfortunately, with this global pandemic, we all were into our houses, and there was a new age working introduced to us. However, the demand was always there since 2019. I'll give you an example. I mean, whoever has asked this question is a very valid question. Something like in WhatsApp as a channel, most of the organizations wanted to add a new digital channel in their product portfolio, in their portfolio of investing on the customer communication. And the request was almost 4 to 5 companies out of 10. I mean, that was the ratio that we were coming in. Category A, Category B companies who have invested a lot into the infrastructure. When it comes to the customer communication management, all of them wanted WhatsApp as one of the channels to communicate. However, the demand and the surge in the increase which has happened after the COVID is because we were introduced to complete new age infrastructure of reaching out to people, of making our daily work doses from our home. And that has changed. The initial month, people started thinking, how do they actually check? How do they actually analyze that what is needed, continue this arrangement, and to be able to come to a new normal, which we are today, which I would say things are not that great outside in the market when it comes to medical fraternity, or when it comes to any of the medical conditions in the country. But when it comes to businesses, they are doing every single thing to ensure they can breathe, they can be alive again, and they can do the business in the market via and with various channels. Facebook's was something which was considered just as a social media, has now been predominantly used by those small time business holders to promote their product in the market. Now, Facebook has a product which is WhatsApp. There are people who adopted WhatsApp. There's an enterprise WhatsApp available in the market, which has been procured by companies, that has been connected to their internal chatbots, that's connected to the artificial intelligence and machine learning module within the company, that's been connected to their CRMs in order to give outputs to their customers. So this is not pre-COVID. The pre-COVID, the movement had started a year back. Our companies have started adopting the new technology. Yes, but it has taken up a pace, but it has also taken a hit on the budgets. Because of the last 4 months COVID, the way the finance industry has been hit, the way people had to change their perception and the interpretations towards market, there is a change management which is taking place when it comes to literal budgets and on expenditure of any of the new technology. So I hope that suffices and gives you the answer that you're looking forward to. Over to you, Justin.
Thank you so much, Milind. I'm not getting any further questions, and I believe we could. Okay, I'm getting one right now. No, that's a thank you note. Okay, I think we can conclude the panel discussion that opens up the next agenda, which is the keynote presentation on driving personalized customer experience in BFSI through technology by Mr. Milind Kadam, the Regional Business Head of Infoweb India Private Limited. I would request Mr. Milind Kadam to join me at the backstage green room so we can start the session. Once again, I thank all the panelists for contributing and for that wonderful and insightful session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Milind. Thank you, all the panelists. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.